Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by clicking the like button, by subscribing if you are new here, or by leaving me 35 comments. It seems excessive, but it's easy to do. It's not that easy to do. Welcome back to another News I Missed, where I go over news I missed because there's always a bajillion things happening in the cryptocurrency space and we talk about them here. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Jane Castor, the mayor of Tampa, Florida, has announced that she will be willing to accept her salary in Bitcoin as well. According to multiple sources who attended the recent Florida Bitcoin and Blockchain Summit, Castor has announced that she would accept a challenge, to take her pay in Bitcoin moving forward. The comments were made on day 2 of the summit, which was held in Amalie Arena in downtown Tampa. Event goers said Castor would be working with crypto lending platform Celsius in order to facilitate the payments, and there's a tweet for it right there. This is the third person now after the mayor of Miami announced that he was also going to be accepting, I think, a month's pay in Bitcoin, and then New York's new mayor, don't know his name, announced that he would be taking 3 months' pay, and I told you there was going to be somebody else, and now we have Jane Castor. It doesn't say how many months. It says going forward as well, so does that mean forever and ever? Not really sure. I also like that they wrote that, like, she would accept the challenge, like, making money. Like, I don't understand, like, she's not doing something like martyrdom levels. Like, it's just her accepting as much money as she would normally be getting, but in Bitcoin. I'm going to also assumption this individual probably also already owns Bitcoin, so this would be nothing new for them. But yeah, this was also in the news during this week. First of all, eventually everyone, every celebrity and every public official will be announcing that they're going to be accepting cryptocurrencies as a form of payment. I think the really weird switch will be when we have the first politicians who say, hey, I want to accept Ethereum as my payment method. And then at that point, all the gates would be completely open because we're going to have a lot of people being like, well, I only want Tron in my wallet. I only want XRP, which is also going to be another entire thing, but it's going to happen. So I wish her the best of luck. You know, it's a very difficult decision getting paid in something that's probably going to 10x, but she'll have to bear through it. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, blockchain domain name company Unstoppable Domains, geez Louise, will no longer charge customer fees, gas fees, to mint an NFT domain name as of the other day. The company has announced Unstoppable has completed the first phase of its move to Polygon, a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum, which is able to speed up transactions and mitigate fees, because Ethereum's fees they need to get that together. That is not even a joke anymore. They have completely blown Bitcoin's fees out of the water. Bitcoin's fees look acceptable when you look at Ethereum's fees. Even like recently, they're $180, $216 during the day, and it's like, that's not going to work. Polygon is not that I was skeptical so much as I've heard of other things before similar to Polygon be launched forward as a means of scaling Ethereum. But Polygon's great. Polygon is doing the job. It has 0 gas fees, or like this much gas fees is like a couple of cents, if not nothing. So pretty good. Initially, Unstoppable Domains made use of Zilliqa before moving to Ethereum, and now Polygon, which is on top of Ethereum, which touts itself as the eco-friendly blockchain scaling Ethereum. Cool. I hope it works out for them. I know it will work out for them. I would love if in the future, because listen, if we're going to be completely honest with ourselves, the odds of Ethereum merging to 2.0 in January, kind of slim. I keep hearing June as the time frame. I've also been hearing that since 2017. So I would simply love if every website just simply just integrated Polygon right now. I was a little shocked is the word that I'll use. That Rarible, not only did they not integrate Polygon to have zero gas fees for minting, creating, sending, buying, selling NFTs, but they integrated with something called Flow. And no, it's just not. You have to buy Flow token to be able to pay in Flow, as opposed to. Anyway, that's the unstoppable domains. If you want to buy an NFT website domain name, now you have no gas fees, because that's how it should have always been. And let's move on. Next up, and this took a very long time for us to get here news. According to Sir John Cunliffe, the Deputy Governor for Financial Stability, at the Bank of England, he said that crypto may pose an imminent threat to the traditional financial system. When I say it took us a very long time to get here, since 2016, maybe 15, somewhere around there, until around 2020, maybe early 2021, there were tons of, they weren't surveys, but they were things that were being done by governments around the world. And the general consensus was consistently that crypto poses absolutely no threat to any part of the traditional financial system. I told you that we'd eventually get here, and lo and behold, here we are. I guess it's maybe the multi-trillion-dollar market cap of the market that might have done something. During a Monday interview with BBC's Today program, Cunliffe argued that the rapid growth of digital assets and their integration with traditional financial services could soon pose systemic risks, stating, and I quoteth, "Cryptocurrencies are growing fast, and they're becoming integrated more into what I might call the traditional financial system," end quote. I'm not sure what else you would call it, because it's the traditional financial system, because we've had it since Moses. Anyway, it's not that I like news like this. It's more of a, I find it fascinating whenever leaders finally come out in the open and say things like this, because they know good and well that fiat currencies do not have much longer. They see the rapid integration, even goes as far as like, it's not simply being able to pay in these things. It's banks coming to them and saying, hey, we got to start accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have to be able to sell it to the public when they want to buy it. We have to be able to custody it. We have about 45 clients who are worth a couple billion who have a huge amount of cryptocurrencies, and they need us to hold it. Like, it's all these things that keep going around. Like, we will not have this same monetary system in about 15 years. It will look entirely different, and I think that they know that. And the entire idea of an imminent threat has to do with the people who make the money. I told you before, thousands of times, if you make the money, you have the power. What happens when you no longer make the money? You don't have the power. And once again, that's not me throwing my hand up screaming revolution. It's just actual logic. What happens when we've gone over this before with the SEC? When you make all these rules and regulations and stuff like that, what happens when a protocol can do it instead? What happens to your job behind the desk? What happens when you've been making and printing and minting coins and creating paper money and putting ink on them for 200 to 300 years, and now we have a protocol that does it mathematically on time? We know that it will not inflate or hyperinflate ever, because the protocol does not have it written inside of it. What happens to the people who make the money? If you make the money, you make the laws. What happens when you don't make the money? Anyway, so I thought this was quite fascinating. Because it's moving in this direction. I think it's abundantly clear and obvious of all the mega banks who've gotten into it. Every mega bank on the planet is now into cryptocurrency in some sort of way. We keep having discussions about this country who's thinking about potentially regulating it. They know what's going on. They're also accumulating tons of cryptocurrencies behind the scenes as well. That's why whenever we were getting news about the other banks who kept on announcing that they had a vested interest in cryptocurrency mining, it's like, yeah, I know. Not only are you buying up Bitcoin, but you're also figuring out ways to be able to mine it all the time, because when the price goes up too high, you need to have another way of still making that Bitcoin. Anyway, yeah. I mean, it's clearly obvious that we will not have the same system in 15 years, but that's neither here nor there. Tying loosely directly into this news, Flocky Inu, you heard that right, a meme cryptocurrency whose name was inspired by Elon Musk's dog, that is rivaling Shiba Inu in terms of popularity. It's really not, though, I promise you. Has seen London's Transport Authority start to crack down on crypto ads after its massive campaign in the city. As Crypto Globe reported, Flocky Inu launched a campaign on London's public transport system with the slogan, "Missed Doge? Get Flocky," in a bid to legitimize the cryptocurrency and increase the confidence of the average consumer to buy it, according to the project's head of marketing, which went by Saber. Was that English? What is that supposed to mean? And here's the ads right here. Cool. Looks clever. It has a dog with like a Viking helmet on its head. I don't get what that's supposed to mean, but if you're into Flocky, I assume Floki? Not really sure. Oh, Floki. Like Loki. Female Loki? No, wait. Why the... I'm pretty sure it's Floki now. Why the F in front of it? Fluffy Loki? Business Insider now reports that the Transport for London has revealed concerns about the ads as they were promoting a little-known, unregulated financial asset that they claim could be open to manipulation, such as pump and dumps schemes. I know it's schemes, but schemes sounds better. My annoyance with this has to do not with the fact that it's for Floki coin, or it could be for XRP or any other coin. The UK has a steady history with any time that people have tried to put up cryptocurrency advertisements that they have a problem with it, and they say it's not properly regulated. You can't tell people to do these things. You can't, etc., 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 etc. As opposed to just giving proper cryptocurrency regulations and telling the public exactly what they can and cannot do. You wait until someone does something wrong and then you punish them for it, as opposed to, once again, just saying, hey, the ad for Flocky is totally fine. Just make sure at the bottom on your website and through the website that you explain to them this is a brand new coin. There are risks associated with this, but of course regulators don't actually care about the public. They care about you looking at an ad and potentially putting your money into something that they don't own or control. Not to say that there aren't instances where people do put their money into these things because they do see an ad that could be potentially fraudulent, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, I'm almost certain that there was no discussion in 2008, 2009, or 2010 as the housing market crashed that UK lawmakers were like, whoa, take down every single ad for buying a home right now. Why? Because that's how they make their money. They're okay with things within their system falling apart if you've invested your money into it because they've already taken their slice from it. Anyway, I'm certain when people found out that all these home loans were fraudulent, people lost tons of money from them. I'm sure the government went out, bailed out their banks the same as every other country, and there was no discussion of taking down any ads for home ownership. Because why would there be? It's properly regulated. No. You lost money because you put your money into the wrong thing. It wasn't the government's fault. That's how it works. Anyway, that's the... Why his eyes are closed, I'm not really sure. This has happened multiple times before. This happened at the end of 2017 and the beginning of 2018 with Bitcoin and Ethereum ads. And that was also when other mega companies, Wink, also announced that they would be banning cryptocurrency ads until both of those companies announced that they were getting into crypto themselves. And then suddenly ads were allowed again on their websites. Super weird, right? Yeah, anyway, let's move on. Next up, Binance. The world's largest crypto company issued on Tuesday what it calls the 10 fundamental rights for crypto users. The manifesto-like document calls for universal access to financial tools, strict protections for personal data, and other measures. Touting the document as a global regulatory framework for crypto markets, Binance also created provisions directed at exchanges. Those include obligations from platforms to protect users from bad actors and ensure enough liquidity for frictionless trading. It's a bit cringy, but I think it's sure, why not? The word isn't appropriate. It's a little cringy whenever any cryptocurrency exchange does this. Coinbase recently also did something similar to this. They don't have like a list of commandments, if you will, but their thing where they were trying to call for regulators to have one single regulator within the cryptocurrency space, basically winking, hey, it needs to be us because we want to regulate the market and say what can and cannot be done. But sure, why not? Can I read through? Every human should have access to financial tools like crypto that allow for greater economic independence. Industry participants have a responsibility to work with regulators and policymakers to shape new standards for crypto assets. Smart regulation encourages innovation and helps keep users safe. Okay, I assume this is being done because of all the regulatory things that are happening to them. Okay, makes a lot of sense then that they would release something like this. Yeah, the word regulation is through it a couple of times. It says privacy is a human right, and personally identifiable information data should be strict to subject levels of protection. Yeah, but that also doesn't allow people who are regulators to be able to ever have access to that information, but then we wouldn't have regulators, and therefore it's kind of a weird loop going around. So cool. Like I said, it's a little cringy sometimes when cryptocurrency companies do these things, but I think a lot of these companies see themselves as like the Amazons of the cryptocurrency space, still early days, and therefore if you can publish a crypto bill of rights, I'm going to assume someone else is going to take this and actually make it like in a decentralized manner, and the word regulators will be nowhere on this sheet of digital paper. Alrighty, let's move on. Next up, Marathon Digital will take a page out of MicroStrategy's playbook by raising $500 million in debt to buy Bitcoin. One of the largest Bitcoin mining companies in the States, Marathon Digital, plans to raise $500 million through the issuance of senior convertible notes. The firm wants to use the proceeds to buy Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining equipment. For those of you who have no idea about the MicroStrategy thing, MicroStrategy twice thus far announced once that they were trying to raise $400 million through debt. Basically, they would issue debt to people who were willing to buy it. Hey, I give you this piece of paper, you give me back $10, and in a couple of years, I'll give you $10.15. It was something along the lines of that, like very low. I think it was like 1 or 2% over the course of like a 5-year period. And I'm like, okay, sure. And they raised not 400 million, but I think 1.6 billion. It was something out of this world. Coinbase is trying to do the exact same thing. We had this discussion earlier this week as well. They announced months ago that I believe they're trying to also raise $500 million. And then every quarter, they're going to be putting $180 million into crypto, buying up cryptocurrencies as well. So now Marathon Digital is trying to do the exact same thing. I assume this will work out very well for them, simply because whenever any company has tried to raise money in this way, especially through debt, then they're making astronomical amounts of money. It's not that I don't get it, but I wonder what the fervor is from companies outside of the space who are like really willing to like buy the debt from them at such a low interest rate. Just throwing it out there. I don't even think they even say on this one how much they're like percentages, but once again, cryptocurrency prices do extremely well, especially if you're using that money to actually make, if you buy up a coin, if you will, for $10, and over the course of 4 years, that coin goes to $1,300. Well, the initial $500 million you gave me, I can pay you that back immediately. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I find it weird that companies would be so willing over a 4-year period to just make 1 to 2% on their investment, knowing good and well that inflation is 6%, as opposed to just investing in the cryptocurrency. Like, if that company is going to be investing in cryptocurrencies, why are you not doing the same exact thing with them? Like, imagine after 4 years, Marathon Digital has made 13,000% on their investment, and you've made 2. That's what I mean. It's a little weird. Anyway, good for them. I hope they make tons of money. So this is the 15th of November, 19. I'm going to say sometime next week. By the end of next week, we should have news of how much money they raised. I'm going to assume it's going to be over $500 million. That seems to be the trend. And let's move on. And to finish things off, and I'm not sure why countries keep trying to do this because it's just not going to work. South Korea's crypto community could soon face stringent reporting requirements on all cryptocurrency transactions, with the country's National Assembly debating whether Know Your Sender rules should be imposed. Arguments against the proposed Know the Sender rule were heard before the Political Affairs Committee on the South Korean legislature on Tuesday, with lawmakers and industry experts pushing back against the proposed legislation. If written into law, the Know the Sender rule would stipulate that businesses, once again, this news is usually thrown out there that everyone would have to do this. Businesses that receive any crypto assets must verify and report the name of the issuer and their location. So good. In the case of business-to-business transactions, the issuer's legal status and the number of persons that they employ must also be reported. This is similar to, I'm pretty sure this was also one of the things, the U.S. is also trying to do something like this as well. It has to do something with if you're sending more than $1,000 worth of crypto, you have to like make yourself known. Like you have to, what was it? Like the IRS has to know about this transaction. And basically you're supposed to, as far as I get it, send them your name and social security number on the transaction so that when they receive the transaction, they can also tell authorities, hey, this is who sent me the... What? I just don't... So... if this does get pushed through, South Korea used to be a very open place to the cryptocurrency market. Somewhere along the way, something happened. I'm not sure if someone new got into a position of power, but they're really slipping with the logic there. Once again, it's been about a good, 4 or 5 years. I don't know if you've heard about these things. Someone invented something called an airplane. Very new. Not many people know about them. What happens is you get onto this airplane with your computer that closes, and it flies you somewhere else. It's almost like magic. It's kind of like almost like levitating. And then when you get out in that other place, you're actually, depending on paperwork, you can move there and live there permanently. So I don't know if they're trying to get money to leave the country. I'm not sure if the people, I would love to see the people making these rules, because a lot of times if you it's not even their background. It's a very generational thing. That's a nice way of saying it. Other generations who don't understand digital assets, who don't even understand the internet properly, are usually people trying to push these kind of laws, not really understanding that, once again, the people making money in the country can simply leave. And also the internet, VPNs and all that stuff. So hope this doesn't go through, because we're going to have another discussion, or rather the news will be that day, of a brain drain and a wallet drain, because these countries don't really seem to get it. Anyway, right. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon. I just hit the microphone. A great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See